good, because I said something earlier, last week, I said something, somebody told me about it.
Oh, yeah?
I can't remember what it was about.
Is it 601?
Right.
It looks like 601.
Behave.
Something like 601.
All right, it's 6:01, so. I'd like to call to order the August 11, 2025 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please.
Cole.
Yes.
Ecker.
Here.
Milner.
Yes.
Morrow.
Here.
Listenberger.
Here. Very good, thank you. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Thank you. Anything from the board this evening?
Everything right, thank you. Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Very good. All right, let's jump down into our department heads. Donnie, anything this evening?
Nothing, thank you.
City engineer Dan?
I have nothing tonight, Your Honor.
I don't even have to ask. The building commissioner has something, of course.
This is for me to sit on.
Yep.
Tonight, I believe Jeff has the bids to do the demolition on the point. I don't know if there's any other bids waiting to be turned in.
I have two. Are there any others? Okay.
I'll open them, you can read them.
So people know this is for demolition of the point building.
From Hunter Transit, total $55,101.20. And from Beaver Excavating for, he actually has two quotes on here, or bids. Structure only at $78,000, and complete removal is $97,500. With such a price difference, I would like to review these bids, take them into consideration.
So moved.
Second.
Can you,
Go for it.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Who was the first one?
Hunter Transit,
And the second one?
Beaver Excavating.
Who?
Beaver Excavating,
Beaver?
yes.
Okay, so we're gonna allow Dennis to take these under advisement. We have first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Yeah, but let's do all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Very good. All right, very good.
Northgate Trailer Park, I will say that I drove through there. I don't know if anybody is here to represent them. We did give them 30 days to fulfill their portion. Their 30 days actually ends on Wednesday of this week. They have went through, boarded up some of the units, the two units that we were kind of in discussion about that they wanted to fix up, and I said it would cost more. They have not boarded up those.
So would that, if they haven't boarded them up, does that mean that they would think that they'd have the right to go out and rent them out?
I would hope not.
I would hope not as well, based on what you've been sharing, but,
Right.
I mean, does that give them that,
No,
it doesn't, okay,
no.
good.
As they stand right now, I'm still stating that they are unsafe to live in. So they need boarded up, and what I would like to see done is to have them demolished.
Yeah, but first step would be to.
First step would be boarded up.
So,
Because at the last meeting, there was some disagreement in what I considered fixable and what they considered fixable.
these were at 73 models or something like that?
71 and 73, yes.
So they've done some of it.
They've done some of
Two
it.
they haven't got to yet.
There's two of them they have not got to. I did notice yesterday when I drove through, the grass is actually starting to grow tall again. So,
Let's do that the other night.
being that they had the 30 days and it doesn't run out till Wednesday, I guess I'm gonna drive through on Wednesday.
What about that other, there were other issues out there, I know the manhole was one of them.
They have not addressed the manhole. The catch basin,
Yeah.
they have not addressed that.
What about the pipes and all that? Has all that been addressed?
That, according to the contractor, that has been addressed. I have not reached out to the contractor to verify everything, but it looks as if all that has been addressed. There was two units that were privately owned. The last time we were here, I had served a warrant, demolition order to the owner. He has not complied yet. If he does not comply, technically it falls on the property owner because it's personal property sitting on their property. They did receive the letter, they did sign for the letter. The other unit, I had no response, so that is actually posted in the paper. Red Rock, I was out there on Friday. The contractor is performing work. That's about all I can say on that. He's performing work.
They pay their fines.
I'm not sure.
Fines get paid at the clerk treasurer's office. I haven't received anything, so I'm assuming
That wasn't
no.
on my agenda.
Yeah. Before I leave, I would like to say, I do not have the money in the unsafe building fund to do the demo this year on the point. I would ask for additional appropriations to accomplish this.
Can the Board of Works authorize that, or does that have to go through council?
No, it has to be the council.
Okay.
So, just letting you know, I'll be back up. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, thank you. Where we at? Alright. Chief Hallam,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor, thank you.
Chief Weir,
Same.
there you are. Jim, you got anything tonight?
Sure, because I'm sure you'll ask questions if I don't, so.
A what?
I'm sure you'll ask questions if I don't talk, so. Paving updates. Just let you know, Garrow Street, 7th Street, West Laporte, and Nursery Street, they've all been milled and the base has been put back in. Those were the streets that had deeper milling on them. Michigan, they are paving on that today. I don't believe they'll be done all the way today, but they're doing pretty good. They're still working now. Lincoln Way East, they're milling it today. They should be done with that probably by now, I would think, from what it looked like right before the meeting. They're working on Marlou with the curbs and sidewalks, getting that ready. Then they still have East Lake, Gideon, and Roy Street to do some deeper milling. And when they do that, they have to make sure they bring 3 inches back in, so I'm gonna see what happens with that. They missed a couple days of paving last week due to the gas supply problems at their plant. Don't know what they came up with. I think they're still struggling with little issues, but they are pulling out Plymouth plant today, and we'll see how it goes. We'll kind of see what the weather brings tomorrow too, because they're watching the weather too, because chance of more rain popping, but
Oh, yeah.
I would hope they get some morning work done. It kind of looks like storms or rain could pop in the afternoon, so we'll see. That's kind of where they are on many paving projects.
Great projects, and especially in some high traffic areas.
Right.
They're needed, so.
It's just very hard with, you are doing one of your main streets in town, and
Well, you have to do it.
there's problems, you gotta do it sometime, so.
Yeah.
And so they've been keeping going on it pretty good.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good, guys.
Thank you. Mike Collins?
I have nothing tonight, Your Honor, thank you.
Mike Hyde, are you online? That's him.
He's there, that's
You're on mute, Mike. Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure he would say nothing. Did I say that out loud? Bill, you have anything to say?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Nothing that I hear. Thank you for asking.
You knew that was coming. Oh, went back to you.
Go back to sleep, Mike.
So I do have one item that I apologize was not on your agenda. Just this morning, I got an email from Indiana Brownfields about the property at the corner of Jefferson and Michigan, the old Subway property. They did complete all of their testing. They did find some contamination with their deeper wells. Appears to be residual from the gas station that used to be there. However, because it is deep and does not appear to be spreading, they did release the site, and they are requiring a restrictive covenant that would not allow any extraction of groundwater from the site. But that's the only restriction they're asking for. So I would ask your permission to authorize the mayor to sign this restrictive covenant so that I can have it recorded, and then we can proceed with plans for that site.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. When you say just remove ground or use groundwater, is there, so we could put housing, not that we want to put housing, but a housing dwelling could go there?
Well, the restriction is based on the intended use, because when it was applied for, the city indicated that it would be used as a recreational park property, that based on that use, they only asked for the one restriction. If it was going to be used for something different, we would probably have to go back and clear that with IDEM before any other use could be put there.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That took a little while, but that's done, right?
Yeah,
So-
finally. I don't have anything else, but I offered to Kyle to handle the requests tonight because he's doing double duty, so I just need to pull them up real quick. The first request is from Anthony Witt, appearance before the board to request approval for temporary closure of State Road 17 at Parkview to Jefferson on September 1st for the Blueberry Stomp. Signatures are required for NDOT to grant permit. And Anthony is here. I don't know if you want to speak to this, but I can tell you that when he first sent this to me, I was pretty confused. And I even checked with Tracy Huyen at the Blueberry Festival, and she was confused. We're not sure why they need this particular form signed, because it's really a detour authorization. But Anthony talked to NDOT, and they said, yes, they need it signed, so that's the reason
I feel
for
like
the
we've done
request.
this in the past.
We've
haven't we?
never done this.
I don't
I've never
remember
seen
it,
this
yeah.
particular form. I've been involved in a lot of projects that involve working the right-of-way on a state highway, and I've never seen this particular form. Like I said, Tracy Huyen told me that the Blueberry Festival has already received all of their permits for the parade. They didn't have to submit this form. You know, we don't know why NDOT's asking for it now, other than sometimes they change the rules in the middle of things.
Or you attorneys come up with new things all the time.
Well, yeah, it's job security. We have
what
to
it is.
justify our existence, so.
Well, Jeff, I guess my question is, with State Road 17 that runs to LaPorte Street, but they're only asking to Jefferson, is the routing stopped?
Can you come up here? Yeah, speaking of the microphone.
Not stopped, but changed?
So I only put to Jefferson because the Blueberry Parade kind of covers everything else. So we used to be, my wife and I took over directorship 4 years ago. Before that, the permits were always covered by the festival. But then when we took it over, that somehow kind of got pushed to us, which is fine. It wasn't an issue until last year when I actually filed for permit for the first time through the state. Was not an issue, very easy. This year, this permit this form came along that clearly says that I need signatures from the city. So I reached out immediately to NDOT just to clarify this is new, didn't have to do this last year. I had already reached out to Tracy, they didn't have to do it, so that's why I kind of started running it up the ladder to see why. Best answer I got is they are in charge, this particular person with NDOT's in charge of 1,000 permits over a large area. He can't answer why some people have to do it and some can't. But at the end of the day, he said that if we are closing a state highway and diverting to either county or city roads, I have to have permission from either the county or the city. In this case, it would just be the city. But I only have it down to Jefferson because south of there, it's not actually state highway south of there. So,
But it is to LaPorte Street though.
Yeah, it is.
okay, that's true. Last year, my permit was only to Jefferson, and it wasn't. They didn't raise any sort of fuss. I can adjust it on the permit still to NDOT because I don't actually have. I just have North Center Street as my.
You're trying to do the right thing, and I guess I'm just concerned that if we omit that, someone raises a
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I can extend it down. That's easy to do.
I'll defer to Jeff, but you agree with that?
Probably. I don't understand why this particular form is needed.
I'm with you on that.
It would make sense to extend it to LaPorte Street because that is all
Yeah.
State Road 17. And that can be changed on the application. It doesn't affect the authorization form that he has in his request.
That's all I think needs to be adjusted.
And just to be clear, this is not anything different than we've done the past 51 years.
I'm well ahead.
Just a new piece of paper.
But I would make a motion to approve the request with the adjustment to Parkview to LaPorte Street.
The parade goes down LaPorte.
It's really.
The parade only goes to Garrow.
To Garrow. I think it would be Garrow. Because we're not really closing the road past Garrow.
That's correct.
So I think it'd be Garrow.
So you could do it to LaPorte.
Then you'd be
and
safe.
Then you'd be covered.
Yeah.
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 So I stick with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I motion that we approve the request with the adjustment made to change it from Parkview to LaPorte Street.
Yep.
All right, we have a motion. And a second. I hope that doesn't mess up your application, but I don't.
It doesn't. I can just work it with Mike, the NDOT guy, and it should be pretty easy. So if I
Okay,
have.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Thank you.
Goes to you. Just need 2 signatures. The bottom 2 for sitting. Thanks for the time tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
I anticipate I'm going to have to do this again next year, now that it's come up.
Mine too.
We need 2 signatures?
Yes.
It's gonna change, so
Sorry.
it's gonna change every year.
Even though that form is dated December of 2004, so I don't know where it's been the last 21 years, but thank you.
Okay.
Somebody probably found it and thought, well, since we've got it, we should use it, right?
Right?
Okay, there is a second request. This is for the Ben Fisher Memorial Foundation. Let me get to the right part here. Ben Fisher Memorial Foundation would like permission to block off Barronbrook Street, north of West Jefferson Street to West Madison for our 6th annual Ben's Birthday Memorial Cruise-In on August 29, 2025 from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. This date is the rescheduled date from July 26, 2025, which was rained out. We will supply cones, bales, and signs needed. We have also contacted Sheriff Hassel and High Star Traffic Control for help in directing traffic during our event. All businesses have been contacted on West Jefferson Street and Barronbrook Street that would be directly affected and permission received to use their drives and lots. This is a collaboration with Quicks Lanes and owner Grant Hollum, Lindsay Einspar, coordinator. And Joe Fisher is here, so if you'd like to come up and...
Actually, if I could stay here, I'm having a little issue with my knee.
Well,
You'll have to speak very loudly then.
I can do that.
I don't know if anybody has any questions. I mean, do you have questions for Joe? You do have questions?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to speak loud.
White Blueberry Weekend.
Because it's the only weekend that doesn't interfere with everybody else and things going on,
And,
other clubs and things.
and I'm gonna say this, the Blueberry coming into this town, we bring them in on Jefferson Street, and to park them over there, man, that's going, to me, it's gonna be dangerous.
Well, that's why I contacted
Right.
High Star and Sheriff Hassel.
And I'm sure all the reserves that they're gonna use is gonna be out there working, I presume, sure.
He's checking. High Star is on board. I spoke with them again today. We had storms on the 26th, otherwise it would have been taken care of and this would have never come up, but Grant wanted to collaborate.
I think your traffic flow is gonna be extremely high that day, so, just saying.
What day is this on? Is this on the Friday?
On Friday.
Friday?
No,
Just
they're gonna,
close
what they'll do is they'll stop traffic. From my understanding, Joel, you'll stop traffic and let them across?
If we use the south side, yes. Right now, we aren't contemplating using the south side. However, if it happens that we have to, we have it, we have the officers and the flaggers and contractors there.
The request is only to block off Barronbrook Street north of
Correct.
Jefferson to Madison,
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
not to
So
block
right
any
there
of
next
Jefferson
to
or anything
Quick's,
south of
yeah.
We're
Jefferson.
not blocking off Jefferson at all.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I thought she was gonna use both.
Anything else for Joe, anybody? No? Entertain a motion?
I got another question.
Sure.
Servpro right there, and did you talk to them?
I did.
Okay.
Yep, sure did. And Overmeyer, and of course Grant. And Grant has the church, so overflow can go back behind. I've spoken with, well, the only one I haven't spoken with is Bailey, because he hasn't called back. However, Nick is there, so pretty much what Nick says will happen. So, anyway, otherwise, he has two buildings, but if we need parking, but we mainly, Bailey's, we might not even use that because it is down farther, and also would be ahead. Quicks may need it for parking.
I'll entertain a motion.
Otherwise, yeah, we've gone clear down. Lobos have also given us permission.
I'll make a motion, we approve the request as written, but if they're gonna cross Jefferson Street, you need to come back in here and talk to us or something. I won't approve crossing the street Jefferson due to the traffic.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. There you go, Joe. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is a discussion about the historic fire station. So, a couple of updates. The first one is good. The mayor formed a committee earlier this year or was it last year? It's been meeting for a little while. Trying to determine the best path forward for that building. It's comprised of Kurt Garner and Brent Martin, so there's architectural support. Dennis Manuel's been involved, representatives of the Historical Society, some really good and interesting information about that building. And we just released a request for proposals seeking public input for potential uses for the building. Modeled kind of on what the county did with the old Shady Rest Home before David's Courage took over that property. We were thinking that the best way to get public opinion is to put it out there and see if anybody has an idea that they'd like to propose and try to find out the best use for the building. Unfortunately, In the meantime, we had a little bit of an incident last week on Monday when the preschool went in to continue preparing for the new school year. They discovered that there was a pretty significant water leak. It appears that the water heater rusted out in the bottom, and a lot of water from the second floor made it through the roof and walls to the first floor. Parts of the ceiling collapsed, and it's been a mess. So ServPro's been out there this week, or all of last week, and are drying it out. The preschool has had to find an alternate location, and I don't know if they finished moving all of their things out of there, but they were in the process last week. So I wanted to bring it to you to discuss the current lease with His Small Wonders Preschool. The lease was originally it began on September 1st of 2019 and originally went through the end of August 2020. It was a one-year lease. At that point, they remained, and the city continued to accept monthly rent payments from them, so it converted it to a month-to-month lease under essentially the same terms. Because we cannot provide a usable space under the lease, I'm recommending that we cancel that lease. Under Indiana law, because it's a month-to-month lease, we have to give them one full lease period notice, which means a full month from the first to the end of the month notice. Because this was not discovered until August 4th, we can't give them notice for August. Our notice would be for the month of September, so technically the lease would be terminated effective September 30th. However, because of the loss of use, they had already paid their August rent. However, because they cannot use it for the month of August, I'm recommending that you approve refunding their August rent payment and waive the September rent payment. So, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but my recommendation is that you approve terminating the lease effective September 30th, waiving rent for August and September, and refund what was already paid for August rent.
And just to be clear, Jeff, the move that they made to where they are now, that's going to be their permanent location, do you know?
I don't know what their permanent location is going to be. My understanding is that they've moved to Crossroads Church,
That's what I understand.
and I think that they're hoping they can work out something on a permanent basis.
Song, maybe.
I thought
Was it Crossroads or New Song?
I understood Crossroads.
Okay.
But
But again,
regardless,
that is third-hand information, so I
Yeah, right,
can't
it doesn't-
verify it.
so if they were to come back, it would create a whole new lease,
I think it's,
if they were.
if they were, it's very unlikely because the intention was that we would terminate the lease at the end of the school year, allow them this school year because they were already set up. Now that they've moved out, wouldn't make much sense to come back for
I'm going to make a motion, we approve the request.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion in the first, second, and third. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Dave went for
I
it.
should add that they've been pretty gracious about this move. This
Yeah.
was a hardship on them, and they really had to really work hard to move their stuff and get ready for, they probably opened last week at some point. I'm not sure what day they started, but, so they've been really good about it and appreciate that. All right, any further discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
I have a question. Just, you mentioned that you were going to end this lease at the end of the school period anyway. Is that a recommendation from the committee? Or who
That's,
makes that
it's
decision?
partially in discussion with the committee. We know that the building needs repairs, and really the reason for the RFP is there are different potential grant opportunities that would be available depending on the use. So until we know what's going to happen with the building, we don't know what funds are available. And trying to get set up to do the immediate repairs and potential renovations, the committee felt that 1 more year would be the most that we would want to keep.
They were in the middle of deciding what to do, and they had to start taking enrollment for this school year last 3-4 months ago, and we said, well, for sure through next school year, and so
I was more curious on what the vision was for the renovation,
Yeah.
the funding,
Yeah.
the use afterwards. Would it be city offices or what would it be?
All of those potential uses are still on the table. I don't think anything has been ruled out,
Could
but
be profit, nonprofit, we're just hoping to get somebody that wants to
like I said,
use the space.
the grants, what grants are available is gonna depend on the ultimate use. So if it is a government use, if the city puts offices in there, then there's some funding that would be available. There's other grant funding that could be available if it's going to be a private enterprise using it.
Didn't Jack Garner declare that building a historic building, and does that affect what we can and can't do?
It has, and it would be Kurt Garner, but,
Jack, same.
yeah, I know. But,
That was close.
I believe it is listed on the National Register. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there are no restrictions based on that registration. Kurt was researching if there are certain historic preservation grants that place limitations on the use, but we're not aware of any restrictions on that building.
Remember you did that. Okay, thank you.
So we're hopeful that we get some ideas. Yeah, we'll see. Those went out last week, so.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else for us?
I don't have anything else.
Thank you. Moving on to approval of claims.
Motion to approve the claims that was in our packet.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed nay. Very good. Number 9, acceptance of communications.
I'll accept the communications that was presented in our packet.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you. Couple minutes and we'll jump into the next meeting. Over there.
Let's go ahead and introduce our special guest speaker, Marty Osborne.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the August 11th, 2025 Common Council meeting. Councilwoman Starr, would you lead us in a prayer, please?
Yes. Would you pray with me? Dear Father God, we come to you this evening from many places in our lives and many things on our minds and hearts, and we just help us to center and focus on what is before us. We ask a special blessing on those here with special problems or people on their hearts and minds that they are concerned about or love or are just wanting special prayers for them. We reach out to you for that and your blessings. We thank you for the world that you give us, that we can see the beauty in nature and the flowers and the things that are in full bloom now. We just could use a little rain, just putting in for that. Heavenly God, we ask you that you would be with us and give us discernment for wise decisions. We lift up all here who have decisions to make also in their lives. We pray for our state governments and our United States government and the world, and help us to find a way to build up tolerance and to learn to listen before we speak. We ask that you be with each one here, and we bring these things to you and ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. You'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Colt.
Here.
Eckert.
Here.
Kraftwall.
Here.
Longenecker.
Here.
Milner.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
Starr.
Here.
Listenberg.
Here. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve our minutes from the July 28, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Thank you. Anything from the board this evening?
I have something there.
Oh, okay.
Back in December, there was representatives from the pool group that were here asking us to accelerate payments. And we had asked them at that time to come back and present to the council their financial plans for moving forward. I know there's a committee of new people that have gathered, and I just think it's time that as a council we receive an update, so we're not, at the last minute being asked for something that we're not ready to provide or ready to provide. We need a plan, in my opinion. So, do you have any information for us?
Well, so they have presented to redevelopment just once so far, I think, right? But what they haven't done is showed a budget, which we have been after them to get, and they keep promising to get that to us. And they're willing to come anytime, but I've been waiting until they have a budget and they don't have it ready yet, and so, but this could I'm glad you brought it up, because this could put some more pressure on them to get that part completed. They have done a lot of, and Bob Sturdivant will be here, he'll share with you, we'll invite him to come when we can wait for the budget to be ready, or he can come and present now, but they have done a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty optimistic that they're gonna be on the right track. But you're right, that's what
I've heard positive things. I
Yeah.
have. I guess,
too.
we asked them 8 months
How's that?
ago for financial information moving forward. I just think it's time that we get it.
Yeah,
So,
I agree that, and I have said, and other people have asked too, so it's not, we've been after them, but it's a volunteer board, and it's hard to get it done, I guess, but whatever. I'll do this, I'll talk to Bob about putting some pressure on that, and maybe in September, first or second meeting, we'll try to schedule them to present to us.
All right, good.
And you're right, before they come, it's like the last minute, they come to us, they need help. Well, let's watch them along the ways. That's a good idea, so.
Yes, on the follow-ups of that Winona group too, I think we're
Yep, we're
owed
ready.
to answer on what's going there. I mean, we stuck our necks out there to work with them, and I don't think we've got reciprocal from them.
Yeah.
We know the building products.
Yeah, I don't know how to speak to that. I don't know how that exactly affects, each year we continue to grant
Yeah.
and so, Jeff, you got anything to say to that?
Yeah, I don't have any good contact information for them, but I'm sure I can reach out to Greg Hildebrand and get that. That's really more of a redevelopment issue because that was a developer-backed bond in a TIF district. What that essentially means is they're not receiving any bond payouts because if they're not paying their property taxes. And I don't know where it stands. I know they made a payment. I don't know how current that brought them. I don't know. I haven't looked recently to see if they've made any more payments. But ultimately, if they're not paying their property taxes, then nothing is being captured in the TIF, and then nothing is being paid toward the bond, which they own, so they're not receiving payments back. It does cost the Redevelopment Commission a little bit every year just for reporting requirements. They pay Baker Tilly administrative fees just like they do for every TIF district and every bond. But other than that, it doesn't affect the regular city budget at all. I don't know if that answers your question, but.
Well, they came and asked, didn't we give them a tax abatement or?
Yeah.
I mean, we stuck our necks out and give that to them. I'd like a little feedback from
Yeah, I can certainly reach out and try to get a hold of someone and see if they can update us.
Are they up to date on the CF1s?
To my knowledge, yes. I think everything was submitted this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard we got 100% on that.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Yeah. Anything else this evening? Okay, jumping down to new business. You're back up, Jeff.
I'm back up. So Ty couldn't be here tonight. He asked me to present for you. There are a couple of proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance for the city. So we'll go through his presentation. First is PC 2025-09, amendments to the zoning ordinance for lot and accessory structures. It's a little hard to see there. Let me pull up mine to make sure I'm reading it correctly. So really this makes two changes. First is to Article, did I do that? Okay. First is to Article 6.010 for accessory structures. What this essentially says is that accessory structures will now be permitted on adjacently owned lots. So if someone owns two parcels that are adjacent to one another, they have a house on one and the other is just an open yard, this will allow them to put an accessory structure on that second parcel that is accessory to the house that's on the first parcel. The reason that's important is because of the change to Article 13 that changes the definition of a lot. Previously, you could have multiple parcels that were used together that would count as one lot. This redefines a lot to the boundaries of the determined by the lot lines, so the parcel lines. The reason this came about is there was some discrepancy between what was permitted in the zoning ordinance and the restrictions for a building permit. The zoning ordinance would technically let you put up an accessory structure like a storage shed or something right across the lot line, but building code doesn't allow that. So this is to amend, the proposal is to amend the zoning ordinance to bring it in line with the building codes, but also to allow use of that larger area that's maybe made up of more than one parcel. This is Ty's analysis. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because it's basically what I just explained. This went before the Plan Commission, and they approved it by a vote of 8-1 with 2 absent, to send it to you with a favorable recommendation. Oops, and that's getting into the next one. So it's now before you for your consideration. And just a reminder, for amendments to the zoning ordinance, because they go through a public hearing and a vote for recommendation from the Plan Commission, it does not require multiple hearings in front of the council. You only have to vote on this once.
Well, I'm on the Plan Commission too as a representative from the council, and I was in favor of this, so I'm going to make a motion that we pass 2025-2247.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. 2509, sorry, PC.
That too.
We have a motion, and Linda, did you second that?
I seconded the correction.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Yes.
Acker.
Yes.
Kraftwall.
Yes.
Longenecker.
Yes.
Milner.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Star.
Yes.
Okay. The next proposed amendment is PC 2025-10, amendments to the zoning ordinance for murals. And again, the reason this came about is because the zoning ordinance currently does not distinguish between an artistic mural and a painted advertisement on the side of a building. And it requires all murals to go through the standard sign standards, and anything other than that requires a variance for approval. What this does is it adds some language to the section about murals and wall graphics, and it specifically distinguishes between what is an artistic mural, a work of art that is non-commercial, and a sign or wall sign that is commercial. It also adds, it makes some changes to the definitions. Under mural, it says it's specifically a painting or work of art that is affixed or painted onto the side of a building, wall, or structure, or a painting on the ground, and it removes the ceiling. Murals are works that are non-commercial and do not use business names, phrases, or logos for the artistic mural. And then it changes the definition of a sign mural to a sign wall sign to distinguish any sort of painted sign that does contain some sort of commercial name, phrase, or logo. The idea is that if someone wants to paint an artistic mural on a building, they should not need to go through an approval process. We have several organizations, including the Comprehensive Plan Committee, that is doing a lot of work to encourage public art and public murals, and this would allow a much more streamlined process if they just wanted to paint an artistic mural. Whereas if it is going to include any sort of business reference, phrase, logo, business name, then that would still be commercial advertising, and that would fall under the current sign standards. This did pass the Plan Commission. They gave a favorable recommendation with a vote of 9-0 with 2 absent from that meeting. So again, this is before you for your consideration.
Make a motion to pass PC 2025-10.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Cole.
Yes.
Acker.
Yes.
Kraftwall.
Yes.
Longenecker.
Yes.
Milner.
Yes.
Morrow.
Yes.
Stark.
Yes.
Very good. I do want to thank, we have a zoning committee that works on these, and
Yes.
Dennis, and
Both of these recommendations came out of that comprehensive plan zoning subcommittee that continues to meet regularly.
they
and-
meet every month, and
They are fascinating discussions. The mayor really loves to join
I
in.
gotta have a lot of coffee for it to wake me up, but, no, I do appreciate you guys doing all that, so.
Okay. Next is approval of claims, and I'm gonna let Kyle at least do something.
Got it here.
Approval of donations. So, the city has received several donations in memory of Brian Renz. All of these donations totaled $450 to be used for the Mayor's Summer of Music. The last donation was from U.S. Granules in the amount of $1,000 to be used for the Police K-9 Donation Fund. I can list out the names of the 7 recipients, or not, whatever one you want me to do. I'm asking if you wish to accept the donations with the restricted terms, conditions, and purpose attached to the donation. If so, the donations will be receipted into the respective funds.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Very good.
Okay, next we have 2 ordinances for first reading. The first one is ordinance number 2025-2247, an ordinance implementing a municipal wheel tax and motor vehicle license excise surtax and creating the City of Plymouth Wheel Tax Fund and the City of Plymouth Motor Vehicle License Excise Surtax Fund. That is for first reading, so if you have any questions, you can ask them, but no action is required. Okay. Then the next one is ordinance number 2025-2248, an ordinance to amend contractor registration requirements for the City of Plymouth. Again, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but it's first reading, so no action is required. Okay.
Very good, thank you, Jeff. Moving right along here. Okay, so under other business, first we had I see there's a lot of folks here from the Reese. It is tabled, as I explained earlier. We can give everybody an opportunity, if you have a question, they're here, but a lot of these requests that we've been receiving here recently, I've asked everybody to bear with us. I've asked the Reese and others that as we work through our budget process, which is, we're in the thick of it right now, I've been studying it pretty close, and we'll be doing the first reading. I'm not sure even when we're doing first reading of budget, but it's coming soon. And so it's going to take us just a little bit longer to make a determination on everything. So that's where we're at on that. Unless anybody has a question for anybody from the Reese tonight. Do you guys want to say anything? Yeah.
We'll just say we understand that, we respect that.
Okay.
So we're here to answer any questions if anyone has any.
And you're welcome to come every time, but it's going to be tabled for a couple more times. But Randy, we love seeing you here, so you know, you can anytime if you want to show up and spend your Monday evenings with us.
I'm just glad
That's
you were
awesome.
able to get back to sleep, Randy.
So that's where we're at on that. Same goes for the Wild Rose. I thought I saw somebody earlier here. But we're going to skip ahead now to the Marshall County Boys and Girls Club. So you want to introduce them, or you come on up and
I haven't done this before here, so.
Well, come on up.
I know a lot of faces here, so.
just introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
first, last name, and address.
The address.
Yeah, we need to know where you're from.
Okay, you know, the business address?
Well, you'll take that too, but usually your
I'll give
personal
you,
residence.
give you both if you want. Okay, so Andrew Fitzpatrick, CEO for Boys and Girls Clubs in Marshall County, and I brought Gina Howell with me, who is on the board and past president and currently still on the board. My address is 12083 Covered Wagon Court. I live up in Granger, Indiana. Our business is 314 East Jefferson here in Plymouth, Indiana.
That covers it.
Okay.
Yep.
So officially, no social security number. No, it's all good. I came today because number one, I've never presented here at City Council, which there's a long story and history behind it. Can I give you something?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So real quick, I'll just give you one of these and then explain. Some of you probably already received it in the mail, because some of you are definitely on our mailing list. There you go. Okay, so this is our new annual letter. I used to send out a letter from me and the board and our staff that was kind of just a letter, like a formal letter on our letterhead. And we changed the format this year for the first time, and this has gone out a few weeks ago. So some of you who are on our mailing list should have already received it. But this is for our annual campaign and our holiday campaign. It's one fund technically, but we send one out in July and then we send another one out during the holidays, asking individuals and businesses to support us. So the money that we've received over the years from City Council goes into this fund. That's why I gave it to you and I wanted to point it out. We always put it in the annual fund. So it's a under government, of course, under annual fund, and that's how we log it in our books. So the reason I really wanted to come and speak is because I know you all get a lot of requests and a lot of nonprofits, and a lot of them are doing so well and changing the community just like ours. And so I can't imagine how many requests you get and how many dollar amounts. We were surprised this year for the first time. We had received $35,000 a year from the city for about 8 years, and I started in 2019, and basically the instructions to me when I was brand new was just make sure you send the city an invoice every year and then they'll send you a check, and that's what we did. So that's why I never came and presented, because they said you don't need to, but I always talk to the mayor and et cetera. So me and Mark Center built a relationship, and I know Robert and his sister was on the board, Mary Beth, so there's a lot of history here. And we were surprised when it went to $25,000 this year and went down. Though we've been surprised by other government entities too, as you can imagine. Our federal funding has gone down. We receive federal funding from Juvenile Justice Department. We receive it through the state of Indiana for our homework time. And some of those have been cut back a little bit too. I think the main thing that we're asking is when you do look at your budget, if there's any way you can get us back to 35, which is 3.5% of our annual budget. Our annual budget is now $1 million. And when I started in 2019, it was under 700,000. And even through COVID, with our new building and the growth that we needed to do, because the new building had just opened, and that's what I inherited. The smaller building, if all of y'all remember the one on Jefferson, there's no way it could fit the amount of kids we have today in that small building. That's why we built it. We built it on Jefferson with the history that I've been told is that's why the city agreed to do 35 years. We'd build it on Jefferson so that it would be in a good location and a pillar of the community, which it always has been. This is our 30th anniversary. So I've been through a lot, so has Gina and other board members, to get us where we are today. And in that whole process, meeting Leonard and then seeing Leonard pass away, one of the founders of the organization, I was so glad that I got to know the guy, and the last words that he said to me, I'll never forget. So we were at our annual fundraiser. He was sitting in the back waiting on people to help him. This was the last one he ever attended. And when someone who starts the organization says, I know that you're the person that can keep leading this organization forward, and I appreciate all you do. And my first meeting with him is, I'm not going to give you any money because you need to prove yourself. Mary Beth was at that meeting. I walked away. I was only in the job 2 months. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, I'll prove to him. I've been doing this for 25 years now. When we had that meeting, it was like 22 years. But the passion for the Boys and Girls Club, and the last thing I want to share, the reason why we would love you to consider, increasing us back up a little bit or getting us back close to where we used to be, is every dollar counts for us, just like any other nonprofit. But the biggest thing for us and our mission is, I want to be clear that we're not a babysitting service. I could share so many stories with you. Some people think Boys and Girls Club kids go there after school summer and they just watch them, and if they do something wrong, they get in trouble. We have so much more impact with our programs than that. And some Boys and Girls Club do kind of run like a babysitting service. But starting from that new building in 2019 and me and with Gina and the leadership that we've had on the board and have today, we have built and built and built up to this $1 million a year budget, and it's needed. I'll finish with this, but I want Gina to say a few words. But just today, so we're a safe place. I don't know if y'all know what that means. Sign on the building, you're a safe place, and kids know they can come in and ask for help. This really literally happened today. I was going to tell you another story, but before I came, Joanna came and talked. She's our Director of Operational Advancement. She's been with us for a long time. She came and had to tell me that one of our former members, 14-year-old kid, who got suspended at school, he can't go to the Plymouth schools right now. I believe he's going to Grace right now for his schooling. He's had a lot of trouble. 14 years old. He came to us today. We hadn't seen him in a while since the beginning of summer when he pulled a knife out on another kid. So there's a long history of this. But he came in and asked for help today. And our program director, she helped. She did everything the way she's been trained to do. Joanna was involved. The club director was involved. The police got involved. There was so many things that happened today in a few hours with this kid. He's finally back at home with his mom and he's safe. But I will tell you this, he literally said to the staff, he doesn't know if he can do it anymore, if he can live anymore, if he can go forward anymore. When I was 16, my best friend was 17, and he committed suicide. And he was going through similar stuff. So I got involved right away with this today because no kid should be pushed away or we just shove them to we can't help you today, whatever. And I'm so proud of our staff and our team, how they handle this stuff from the trainings they've been to. They handled everything perfectly. That's just a simple thing. There's so many other stories like that I could tell you as to why we exist and do what we do and the impact that we have with all the kids in our community. And our number one priority for the mission for the city of Plymouth and our clubs in Bremen is to make sure that our kids are safe, that they're making the right decisions, and that they're not doing things in our community that hurt other people or harm themselves. That is our number one goal. So I think you all know how important we are. I don't think I need to keep explaining that. But please, in your budgetary process, consider at least back to the 35 where we were if you can. But we appreciate all the years you've donated, and even the $25,000 this year. Anything and everything always matters to the Boys and Girls Club, so thank you very much. But I do want to say one thing. She's a little nervous, didn't really want to talk. But Gina Howell did so much for me she was president for the first 3 years, and she stayed on the board. She's still on the board. And I just want her to stand up and say, why? Why does she stay on the board? What does it mean to her? And then I'm done.
Come on up.
Yes.
You
I have to come up there?
You might have to give your address.
Yeah,
You want my address?
you kind of do, Gina.
Okay.
Formality.
Everybody
Gina
knows you.
Howell, and I live at 1106 River Birch Drive in Plymouth right now. I did retire in January. I've been on the board 15 years now, and as Andrew said, I was president for 3 years when he first came in, and the club has really prospered since then. And we do appreciate anything you guys can do and have been doing for us. But again, it's just, I don't see me wanting to ever get off the board. I mean, when you guys just need to, if you haven't, come and visit the club at some point and see what the kids are doing and the different things that we help them with, the challenges. It is definitely not a babysitting place. We have all kinds of programs. There's been, like Andrew said, we can go on and on and on. I know you guys got a lot on your agenda. But if you ever want any more information or you want to come and visit, please do. Because you don't really know what it's like until you walk in those doors. Thank you for any consideration, though, for a donation.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gina.
And if you want to use those things I gave you to personally, that's up to you. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're fine. We'll talk about you if you leave.
That's okay. Talk behind our back. Hope it's good.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
See you. So, I would like to hear from y'all about this request, or your feeling. We can talk about it sometime, but that is also, it looks like their request is 35. We've been, there has never been a formal agreement. I think back when we gave them some money back when they built the building. Do you guys remember that? Don, you were on the council. And then there was a verbal agreement of I thought it was 25, but we did that year after year. And so there are some numbers of years of 35, I think, though, so.
We had years of 50, too.
Was it 25?
I want to say it was 25.
Yeah, I
wanna
can't,
go look.
I get a little confused, and I look back, there was never any formal commitment of any type. But out of the mayor's promotion budget, it seemed to me we were doing 25 every year, but he said 35, but, so. And I said.
I was just gonna say that I think part of the confusion over that is it didn't have its own separate line in the budget. It was just included in the promotion of the city budget. And without any documentation of what the amount was, there,
So.
it's kind of an open
I
question.
remember when, several years ago, when we gave a large donation, they knew what was gonna go down. But I don't ever think there was a dollar amount, and that was out of the mayor's decision, so.
And we kind of looked in the minutes, and we couldn't see anything. You remember when we did that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I had you and I we dug through it a little bit. We couldn't find any firm commitments of the ongoing support. Yeah.
We did.
So, anyway, we're gonna consider that. And that'll be part of, Don, we'll have to get, whoever we can get together with, so.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
I do, if you guys have thoughts on it, you can share it now, or you can let me know, whatever, but.
I just want to take time to go look at it individually. There's some solid requests out there that we want to take seriously. We're not being passive, we're not being push it to the side or anything like that, but we know that there's changes coming directed by the state that's going to impact things, and so we got to really understand where it's coming from and how it's going to impact. I will just remind members of the council that when they built the new building, there was $500,000 that was contributed by the city towards that project.
Yep.
Not because, it was contributed because there was a need and they were outgrowing their existing facility, and it was one that needed to be done. And we've seen the numbers over the years. We're seeing the kids that are being impacted positively.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying yay or nay on the request. What I am saying is seriously consider what we can or cannot do.
I'll put,
And that's the exercise that we've been talking about doing over the next 30 days probably, as we work through the budget. So. Very good.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the One Marshall County update, and tonight we have a special treat. Guest speaker Marty Osterbahn from the Board of Directors of One Marshall County is here to present this, so I'll let him take over.
Welcome, Marty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Marty.
Hi, everybody. Special treat this will not be. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, we have to listen to him every meeting.
Well, yeah, better than Jeff. Okay.
I sat down and shut up.
All right, we'll go there. Marty Osterbahn, 504 East Washington Street in Culver, Indiana. Good evening, everyone. My purpose tonight is to provide you with a brief update on the One Marshall County organization and to ask only for your input as we are finalizing our strategic plan, and thought maybe we'd try to gather a little bit more input before we launch. You may, I'm a member of the One Marshall County Board. You may also know me as the leader of the Culver Redevelopment Commission. I am also president of the Marshall County Community Foundation Board. And I want to start by thanking you for your support of the One Marshall County organization. Once again, Plymouth, the Common Council, as well as the Redevelopment Commission, has led the way amongst Marshall County municipalities in supporting this type of regional planning effort. I'm proud to say that the Culver Town Council and Redevelopment Commission followed your lead amongst other people, and we are getting strong support for the group. So thank you, and thank you for taking your leadership role as seriously as you do. I'm going to overview our progress, and at the end, I'm going to hit on some main strategies that we're pursuing. And so along the way, I'd ask you to think about three things. One, are we on the right track? Two, what are we missing? And three, what would you have us do better? So what are we, right track, missing, do better. All right, so our expenditures so far have been limited to virtually just some startup costs, website, domain, by Quicken, right? I mean, minimal stuff. We are engaging a consultant in Focus out of Mishawaka, who is essentially functioning as a executive director for the organization, facilitating the meetings, getting the agendas done while we try to get ourselves organized. We've been at this for about a year. I don't want to oversell it. We are still getting organized, and it's frustratingly slow to some of our members to get this thing launched, but it's a very large group. There's 28 board members, all volunteer board members, representing a broad swath of the community. We've got each municipality is represented, the county government. We have representatives from businesses like Southwire, American, financial institutions like First Federal, First Source. Nonprofits include the Triton Schools, St. Joe, Culver Academies, Poor Handmaids, Marshall County Community Foundation, and the Economic Development Corporation. So our committees are in various degrees of execution. Some of them are ahead of the game. They're already executing, meeting regularly, producing some tangible results. I'll mention that in a moment. Our board is led by Gary Neidig, who is also leads TAMCO here in town. So once established, the funding platform is to include significant support from the business community. We expect to be funded about 50% from the business community across Marshall County, and about 50% combination of municipal support and grant support. We will know if that funding platform works once we get our strategic plan finalized. It's due this month, and we go into execution mode and start reaching out to the business community with our plan. The initial informal conversations are quite positive, though. We feel pretty comfortable. We do expect to employ an executive director. I don't know if that will be a full-time position. I don't know if we will share it with other organizations, nonprofit organizations in town. It depends if we can find synergies. We're going to be looking for it, though. Everything we do is meant to make it easier for our businesses, for our nonprofits, for our municipalities to get their work done. So one way is just collaboration, and all of you are parts of groups where you meet because you do similar things and it makes things easier to do. This is a group like that because of the breadth of the representation. It's kind of an interesting group because you get a lot of different perspectives. But the other way it does that, though, is by providing a plug-in to regional activities, and particularly the 3-county regional organization known as the South Bend Elkhart Regional Planning Group. Well, I don't want to get too boring on you or too granular on some of that, so I think I'll start there, and if you have questions, I'll answer them at the end. What we don't want to do is duplicate anything. So if it would not be done except for the existence of one Marshall County, we're on it, right? If it's going to get done regardless of one Marshall County, we don't want anything to do with it. That's kind of like the way we'd like to look at it. The reason the regional plug-in is important is because that's where the state is more and more asking us or wanting us to develop solutions to problems with workforce, income, housing, education, quality of life. And we have 5 committees that significantly extend the number of volunteers engaged in the work. And again, I don't want to oversell it. Not all of these committees are operational or executing on a regular cadence, but some of them are. We have a housing and infrastructure committee led by Sean Peterson of Community Redevelopment Partners. We have an education and workforce committee led by Jeremy Riffle, who's the superintendent at certain schools. We have a business innovation and growth committee led by Chelsea Smith of First Source. She's also on the board of directors at Marshall County Economic Development Corporation. We have a committee on quality of life, and that is led by Linda Yoder, who is the executive director at the Marshall County Community Foundation. And then finally, we have a quality of place committee that's led by Sandy Garrison, as you know, the executive director of the Marshall County Museum, and also Matthew Selmer, who leads the Moontree Studios out at the Ancilla organization. And I'll talk just a little bit about how that last committee, that quality of place and the arts and culture, they started with the existing Arts and Culture Council, which you guys did here, right, in Plymouth, and worked to expand the stakeholders to include Main Street organizations, and then tourism, and then stakeholders that are involved in like trail infrastructure. And they're tying the arts to economic development and then trying to align that with the regional 3-county arts plan, which is being requested by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. And it is through that IEDC regional plan that we will get these local things funded. So that's a good example of, you know, the Arts Council by itself operating in Plymouth, great idea and doing great work, but it's by tying in to this regional, plugging into the regional idea, that we can get these local projects funded. So this is a gross oversimplification. Could you share? Do you mind? You do what? Oh, you know what? You don't have to.
Kidding.
Oh,
Okay. Get him bigger
So
sandbox.
what you have there are, there's the 5 committees, right? The 3 things that they really want to focus on, and then how to implement from there. That's really what we're about. You know, it's that simple. It's those 5 main areas. And the 4 strategies that we've got, 1, we got to operationalize, so I won't bore you with that. But 2 is grow our population through housing and infrastructure. So that's a focus area for us. We're forming a community development corporation at the Marshall County Community Foundation. We're working on a regional basis using $20 million of Lilly Foundation money to build 500 homes across the 3 counties. We're trying to establish a regional land bank, which will make it easier for you as a municipality to acquire tax delinquent properties and redevelop them. So that's the work being done there. Second strategy is to drive business growth and improve job quality. That is to engage in a coordinated zoning, provide enlightenment. Enlightened is even the wrong word. Innovative zoning ideas that would spur business growth. I don't want to wind up on YouTube, right, and going viral, right, or in the newspaper, you know, getting in trouble. So I'm choosing my words a little carefully there. But also working with the talent pipelines through the career technical education, the Lifelong Learning Center, and trying to connect the business community with them as well as we can and as broadly as we can. And then also to provide small business support. Then another strategy, enhance our quality of life and place. That's downtown development, childcare, senior support, wellness, and then also that's where we're promoting the arts and tourism culture. So with that, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to turn it to you and I'm going to say, I know that was quick and high level and there's a lot there, but is there anything that strikes you as, hey, why aren't you guys thinking about this or why aren't you doing this?
Marty, just real quick, you say top 3 priorities. I assume you're talking 3 priorities from each
Yes.
base, right?
Yes, and I could go over those with you, Don, if you...
We can have that offline.
Okay. what do you feel you need help with on a regional basis, if anything?
The or the housing is a big one. And I'm looking forward to that. So Sean's, I don't know where he's at on all that. I missed our last meetings, but that's probably a big one. Every community is looking for housing.
Yeah.
So the land bank, all that.
What we're trying to do is catch up a little bit because St. Joe County and Elkhart County have been at this for a while. They've had their Community Development Corporation for a while, and we're just getting started on it.
I think quality of life is one, Marty, that comes up frequently, especially with medical needs, medical care, with what we've seen that's happening here at the hospital, for example.
Yeah.
And the availability of doctors. I think that just continues to bubble up to the top.
Thank you, Don.
You gotta speak up, Don.
I'm sorry,
can't
Kathy.
hear ya.
Dwayne will speak for me tomorrow. But basically, medical care is a big issue, not only for Plymouth, but also for
Access to it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a countywide, and possibly region, but that's a great point. If we had more advocacy for that, for our community through One Marshall, I think that's a huge win. Yeah.
We got a beautiful facility out there that a lot of money went into it to build it up to where it was. And now we're seeing it, departments being closed, and that's concerning, very concerning.
And if you want to attract people, you need to have care for those people, especially if they're going to be having babies and having families, they need to have care. I like the cohesiveness of it. It seems like we've had all these little things going on all in our community and in our county, and I like the fact that this is bringing it all together, and maybe we still have a long way to go as far as communicating, but I think it's a start.
Thank you. I'm no expert on any of this stuff, but I'm learning, and it is all tied together. So a lot of people, we talk about housing. We got a housing issue in Marshall County. The houses in Marshall County compared to your average home in the U.S. We're not high, right? The problem is affordability of those houses. The people that live here can't afford them. And so our housing issue is really a wage rate issue when you think about it, right? And how do we increase the wages? How do we get to better jobs? We've got a 51% post-secondary education go-to rate in Indiana. I think it's lower in Marshall County. How can we better help our kids get the technical skills and the education they need to qualify for those wages, right? These things all start to come together when you think about it, and the only way I think you can solve them is by working them, all at one time. When I'm thinking about our strategy at the Community Foundation, I more and more kind of come to that place where I think education and supporting, of course we already do a lot of that with scholarships, but finding ways to move the needle on that average wage rate may be the target of the bullseye, for all of us at the end of the day, for a lot of these problems. Anything else? Okay, I'll get out of your hair then. Thank you very much for your time today, and again, thank you for your support.
Yeah, Marty, thank you.
You bet.
Comprehensive plan.
The only update I really have for the comprehensive plan is to repeat what Ty told you at your last meeting, which is the work is mostly filtered out into subcommittees. You saw evidence of that earlier in this meeting with 2 amendments to the zoning ordinance. Those subcommittees continue to work hard and make progress, and we're all waiting anxiously for the official rollout launch of the online tracker, so that should be coming very soon.
Privilege of the floor. Anything this evening from anybody? Randy, you gonna be quiet? Thank you.
All good, brother.
I was talking about that Randy out there, but
Usually it's a jab at me.
I'm glad you're quiet too. Okay.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
There you go, you jabbed the wrong Randy.
Randy Danielson, 12638 Emerald Court, Plymouth, Indiana. I just want to say Marty is really selling himself short on what that group of 28 board members, I mean, that was the group that won us the Stellar Award in 2019. They moved this forward to try to, bring Marshall County together as a unified effort. And with that, what can be done with the South Bend Elkhart Regional Partnership. I was a part of that too, going down to Indianapolis and, when that big grant was won by the state. That group is in good hands. It's great leadership. I wished I could have continued to be a part of it, but the Reese kind of sidelined me, and so I had to, go off that. But I do appreciate the passion and the commitment that those 28 people have. Thank you.
thank you, Randy. Very good. Anything else? Okay, so number 7, acceptance of communications.
Make a motion, we approve, or accept the communications that was in our packet.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Randy. Very good. Thank you all for being here tonight.